There are many ways to describe Rumeen Farhana, but she's an advocate, she's a Bangladeshi politician, but currently she is the face, not just in her country, but also in India. She's been giving a lot of interviews of till recently Bangladesh's principal opposition party, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, which no longer is an opposition party because the party in power is no longer the party in power, Army League, Sheikh Hasina's Army League. Rumin, hello and welcome to the print.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, Rumin. How are you?
Good, good.
Rumin, uh, Bangladesh Nationalist Party did not participate in the last elections, which I happened to cover in your country. You had boycotted the election, saying that it's a rigged election, it's a sham election. You had wanted a caretaker government to be in charge when the elections were held because it was your apprehension that if the government continued to be in place during the elections, it would be a sham election. Now, there are a lot of global opinion about how whether the election was a sham or not. But what you had wanted before January 7 has come true now. There is an interim government in your country. But along with that, there's a lot of chaos and a lot of headlines globally which do not make your country or the political stakeholders in your country look good. How do you make sense of the chaos, the targeted attack on the minority Hindu population, and also from what the reports that I'm getting, the singling out of opposition, now your opposition Army League leaders and workers?
Thank you so much. Recently what happened in Bangladesh, especially in July, it will be absolutely wrong. It was a mass movement against this government because, the people couldn't give vote in 2014. As you know, that 153 seats were already elected before the election date. So it was not an election at all. It was basically a one-party parliament at that time. Second election took place in 2018. In that election, though, BNP and other opposition parties that participated, but it is massively known as a midnight election because the election took place the night before the election day. And there was massive arrest going on the opposition members and political activists. Our Secretary General and the rank and file were put in jail, and so many this and that that happened in 2018. So that was not also a very acceptable election, not a election that you can say free, fair, and an inclusive one. And the last election that took place this year in 2024, it was basically an election between Awami League and Awami League. So one was the nominated candidate from Awami League, the other was the dummy candidate from Awami League. So, none of these elections, that maintained the international standard, or the people could not express their will, people could not give vote, people could not freely go to the voting station, and in last election they just refused to go to the polling station. So these three elections made Hasina a monster, and basically she made Bangladesh a one party state. So this kind of attitude and her arrogance with using law enforcement agencies against the members of BNP, Jamaat, and other members who are not, in her favor, the way she used them, that's it's just the backfire of that pressure that she put on this nation.
Ma'am, incidentally, on January 7, the print headline on the election was Awami League fights Awami League and Sheikh Hasina wins. You can check it on our website. So that's how we
Yeah.
reported the elections. But having said that, I would want to ask you again, how do you make sense of the targeted attack on Hindus and also the witch hunt in a sense of Awami League supporters and workers that we're hearing from the ground? Is it something that concerns you as a political party which is now back in the game? Are you doing anything to help the situation, to stand with your own population?
I'm not in favor of any vandalism. I'm not in favor of any oppression on the minorities. And of course, I condemn this. But at the same time, you have to keep in mind that it is the outburst of the deep rooted hatred against Hasina. People, I'm talking about the members of Awami League. I mean, people has strong hatred against them. They have tortured people in last 15 years like anything. They grabbed their land, they filed false cases against them, they did corruption and whatnot. So people have got very deep rooted grudge and cause. And that is the reason why they are, setting fire on their party members' houses and offices, etc. But so far, minority is concerned, I am making it absolutely clear in my uh, Facebook that we condemn it. I tried my level best to stand beside my brothers and sisters who are not feeling very safe at this moment. And I gave my contact number to as many people as I can so that they can just call me or text me if they feel uncomfortable or unsafe so that I can take measures in my very small capacity.
Ma'am, in my personal capacity, I know about a Hindu family who had approached you and who you helped. I happen to know this because I know the family, but that's you individually. There are coordinated attacks against Hindus across the country. Uh, what is this? Is this the rise of Islamist forces that can't be contained anymore? I'll tell you from where I'm asking this question. There was a sense till recently that Sheikh Hasina under Sheikh Hasina, Hindus in Bangladesh were safe. Now that Sheikh Hasina is gone, there is nobody to listen to Hindus to take care of them. So thereby, the Hindu does not have a space in today's Bangladesh post Hasina.
You know what? In, say, Sheikh Hasina's hand, the minorities are safe. It is nothing but a myth because they used to say a slogan, "Thakle bhot gele jomi." If you stay here, if the Hindus stay here in Bangladesh, they will get the vote. And if they leave the country, they will get their land. In last 15 years, the voting culture has been totally abolished. So what they did in last 15 years, they tried to make such a situation so that the common minority people, I'm not talking about the aristocratic, educated, upper class minority, I'm talking about the common minority people. They were tortured, they were, put in such a situation so that they can neither speak nor they can do anything. They had to flee from the country and they did. I personally visited many places like Kumilla, my constituency, Brahmanbaria. I went to Jasor, where the vandalism took place in minority communities' places. So I personally visited those places from my party. So I know how they tortured and oppressed the minority, and they believe that if they stay here, they will definitely be in support of our League, and if they go away, they will grab their property, their land, their office, their business, and that's what they did in the last 15 years. If you see the statement of made by Hindu, Bauddha, Christian, Oikko Porishad, at the same time the Hindu Porishad, you will see Hindu Mahajot, you will see that they made it very clear that the minority community has been oppressed and tortured in this 15 years more than any time before that.
If I may, ma'am, in 2001, BNP came to power in Bangladesh with the Jamaat. There were targeted attacks against minorities across the country. Those were well documented. There was a judicial commission in 2006 that looked into those atrocities, the horrific atrocities that I got to know because I was researching on the subject when I was in Bangladesh. I would ask you this question again. Without Hasina, is the Bangladeshi Hindu safe today? And what is also your party's stand, BNP stand, about the Hindu in Bangladesh?
Without Hasina, the minority community is even safer. The reason is, as you say, that in 2001, there was atrocities in the minority community, and you said the many attacks took place and stuff like that. I very humbly say that who is the beneficiary of that incident? Isn't it the Awami League? They are still now using those incidents as an example to say that, see, the minorities are not safe in other parties' hand. They are safe only in our hand. And by using the narrative, they try to manipulate the minority communities, the nation, as well as the international community to portray their secular picture, their so-called secular picture, and condemn the other political parties who really want to stand beside the minority communities. Because, in 2014, when this quota movement was going on, you said that many minority communities places have been vandalized and they were, attacked. But if you see the social media news, if you see the photos, you will see that Chhatru Shibi and the other political party activists, they stood beside the minority community. Even we saw the imams of our mosque, the elderly people who used to go to mosque 5 times a day. They, they made a human chain. Uh, beside the temple, and they tried to protect the temples and the houses of the minority community as much as they can. But I cannot guarantee you that nothing has happened in last 2 days. Of course, some incidents took place, but at the same time, BNP is not in power now. The police, they just, uh,
The
they just
police is
fled
not there,
somewhere.
ma'am.
I don't know.
Even
We don't see any
police
police
stations in
anywhere.
Dhaka are unmanned. Many police stations in Dhaka
Absolutely,
are unmanned. Yeah. I have
absolutely.
friends not
So
just not just among the minority community, but also in the Muslim community who are very, very scared right now across Bangladesh, even in your
absolutely,
city.
absolutely. So you just cannot see the entire situation through the lens of any Islamism or any through the lens of any BNP Jamaat issue. You have to see the whole thing in a bigger perspective.
It's interesting you mentioned that because, like I said, there was a binary that was established, rightly or wrongly, that Army League is a secular political force. BNP Jamaat club together uh, is a communal force. They want Hindus out of Bangladesh. They want Bangladesh to be a Islamic country where the minority either does not have a place or has a place as a second class, third class citizen. Is your firstly two questions: what are you as a party doing to stop the violence that's on right now? How do you think, how soon do you think the violence will stop? And also, is the BNP thinking of reaching out as a party, not individually, to the minority population?
Can you just ask the question? I couldn't hear.
Right. So I'm saying that when do you think this attacks will stop? These horrific images that are coming out of your country will stop? How soon can law and order be restored? What are you doing as a party, as a political party that is not under any pressure as of now? Because Sheikh Hasina is not there, the Army League government is not in place. I know that BNP is a very, very, very popular and powerful political party which did not find its political space in the last decade. But now the situation is no longer that, it's a new situation. So, when do you think law and order will return to Dhaka and across Bangladesh? The attacks will stop on minorities. And also, would you as a party want to reach out to your Hindu population?
Of course, why not? And what I believe that yesterday, our chairperson and our acting chairman, they delivered their speech to the nation, and both of them say that if anything goes wrong, if any atrocity takes place, or if any minority community has been attacked, any looting has been done in the name of BNP Jamaat, please inform the nearest police station as soon as you can, and just bring them before the justice. Don't care whether he's a supporter or a member or no party member of BNP or not. Just take them to the police station and ensure that you are safe. So I think this speech will give some message to the party people and the nation as a whole that BNP will be very strict so far the law and order situation is concerned. And
Right.
Dr. Yunus came back today, and he became the our chief of our interim government. So
Yes.
now we can say that we have a government. The oath will take place at 8 p.m. this
Right.
evening. So from then onwards, the situation will be improved.
Right. How soon, moving on from the very distressing law and order condition in your country right now, let us talk about the political situation. The interim government has to call for an election within 90 days. But I think you are an advocate. So there are provisions in various Supreme Court judgments which say that under extraordinary circumstances, it has to be called soonest. Now, the soonest, I believe, has not been defined. How soon is soonest? How soon would the, am I right, ma'am? So, how soon does
Absolutely.
the BNP want elections to take place in Bangladesh?
We want it as soon as possible, number one.
Okay.
Number
Hmm.
two, as you say that there is a provision for 90 days, it is
Yeah.
no longer there in the Constitution. Awami
Okay.
League amended the Constitution, and they just abolished that article from the Constitution. So it's no longer there.
Okay.
So, as a political party, we believe that uh, uh, the party which has been elected by the people, they only have the mandate to run the country. So that is the reason why we are asking for an election. And for last 15 years, it's a long time, more than a decade. People have been deprived from their voting rights. So this is another reason why we are asking for a quick election.
uh, Many people in your country and mine are very shocked with the images of Sheikh Mujib's statues being brought down. I have to say, I'm not so shocked because I had done a piece last year, December, where I said that the young generation, it's a very young country. The young generation in your country do not really dig 1971 history the way maybe previous generations looked at 1971. It's a young generation that wants other things apart from falling back on the war of independence and Bangladesh's birth story. Having said that, what do you make of the burning of Dhanmundi 32 and also the bringing down of Mujib's statues? What is the BNP stand? Do you want history to be rewritten or do you want it to be in continuum?
What I believe is whatever has happened with the statue of Sheikh Mujib or the house of road number 32 is the obvious outcome of what Hasina did in last 15 years. She used liberation war. She used Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. She used the spirit of our liberation war. She used the term Rajakar to validate all her misdeeds. Whenever you raise your voice for free and fair election, she will say you are nothing but a rajakar, and you don't belong to the group those who supported liberation war. If you ask for your human rights, she will also say the same. If you ask for your freedom of speech, she will say the same. So this is the answer, this is the result of what she did in last 15 years. Though I don't personally support this, but it's the obvious outcome. You just cannot stop it. The people, they are so deeply aggrieved against the government. It is just the outcome of that. Otherwise, can you believe the image of Sheikh Hasina that she built in last 15 years, as if she is an iron lady, nothing can bother her, nothing can, sh- and she's immovable. That is the impression that she created in last 15 years. But she had to flee from the country. She had to take refuge to India. She had to ask for asylum to UK, which has been subsequently denied. What I heard, and I saw it in the newspaper, very renowned daily newspaper Prothomalo, that she has been refused to enter into America. So this is not a very good message. Her world is becoming smaller and smaller. And what type of leader is she? I'm very sorry to ask the question in this manner, but I can't help myself. She left all her party people behind, and she just rescued herself and her sister. This is not the this should not be the true portrait of a leader. This is not how a leader should be.
Right. Ma'am, now that the political scenario in Bangladesh has changed and BNP has come back into the political arena, how do you see going forward, not just in the interim government that is taking shape right now, but also post elections, whenever that's held, however soon that's held? I'm sure you are a major stakeholder in that election. What do you see a future, not very distant future, Bangladeshi government's view of India? Uh, Sheikh Hasina was a great friend of India. Will a possible BNP government also be a friend of India?
Very humbly, I want to say that India unfortunately put all its eggs in one basket. I don't know why India did that, but the fact remains India never put any attention, give any attention to create people to people relationship, government to government relationship. Rather, they focus on to build it. They focus on building relationship with Sheikh Hasina and Awami League only. Uh, it will not give any it will not give any benefit to India for because people are not happy with it. People say that in Awami League could continue for 15 years because it has been backed by India. Awami League did all these abductions, enforced disappearances, killings, repressing the opposition parties and its members because all the time India was beside Sheikh Hasina. And after 2014, 2018, and 2024, we noticed that India became the first to uh, stand beside Hasina and congratulate her. So these are the incidents that did not give comfort to our people. And border killing issues are there, water sharing issues are there, but the first and the most the I mean the most difficult thing to deal with for India is the people's perception that India only supports Sheikh Hasina. That is the main complaint of our people, and that is the reason why the boycott India campaign becomes so popular. So I
Ma'am,
hope
right.
that India will look into the matter and they will revise their foreign policy so far Bangladesh is concerned.
Ma'am, Jamaat has been your coalition partner in the past. There have also been periods in Bangladesh's political history, recent political history, where BNP has distanced itself, at least officially, from Jamaat. What will be your relationship with Jamaat now? Will it be a coalition partner, or will you both fight for your pie in the electoral game that will be played out?
Interestingly enough, Jamaat was a coalition partner of Awami League also in
Yes,
1994 to 1996.
yes,
And after that, when they came back in power in 2008, uh, they started saying that Jamaat is anti-liberation, Jamaat is the party of Rajakars, and they tried them in International Criminal Court, as you know that. Um, uh,
yes,
they tried them, and many leaders of Jamaat, the senior leaders of the Jamaat were hung at that time. So
correct.
now Jamaat has been reformed a lot. And lastly, 2 days back when Hasina fled for India, we saw that Jamaat has been declared as a, it's it has been cancelled as a party. So now it's a new era. Let's see how it goes. But this 15 years has brought from extreme right to extreme left under one umbrella. That is very interesting.
One of Jamaat's stated aims is Sharia rule in Bangladesh. Do you support that? The rule of Sharia in Bangladesh one of Jamaat's stated aims. Does BNP support that? Do you individually support that?
You see, Jamaat is an independent party. It has its own ideologies, it has its own goals, and it has its own politics. BNP is also a different party. It has its own ideology. So you cannot say that BNP's ideology is the ideology of Jamaat, or Jamaat's ideology is the ideology of BNP. They both are separate and they have their own ideology. That's what I can tell.
Right, ma'am. It's a personal question, but and it is not. It's a very pressing question. My family happens to come from your part of the world, which was East Bengal then, which became East Pakistan in between, and then is now Bangladesh. Who does a Bangladeshi Hindu call tonight? Who does she call tonight when her house is coming under attack? If you could answer that question for me.
I am always there. I'm always there in my very small personal capacity. At the same time, I can see my party members as well as the members of Jamaat Shibir. They are also there to protect them as much as they can. And as I told you that a new government will be formed this evening. So after that, the law and order situation will be improved, hopefully. So I don't think that they will be under threat anymore.
Are you saying that on record? Is the situation going to get better for the entire population of your country, but also
Absolutely, for
specifically
the
for the
entire
Bangladeshi Hindu?
population and for the
Right.
entire population of the country.
Madam Farhana, thank you. Thank you for this wonderful interview. Thank you for giving me time. Also, thank you for that specific instance which I know of, where you helped a Bangladeshi Hindu family. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.